Hey guys, this is Sarah Bust with a new series by me, Veggie Tales Easter Egg series. We'll start off with the very first one, where's God when I'm scared. In Junior's toy chest in his room, you can see the blue lobster that's going to be used in Are You My Neighbor? A poster in Junior's room of Bob and Larry, the old Veggie Tales logo that were on the first video releases.
My name is Phil Winkelstein, and I'm an actor from Toledo. What?
The Easter egg for that is that the creator of Veggie Tales, Phil Vischer, his first name is Phil, so that was a reference to him. That wraps it up for Where's God When I'm Scared. There aren't that many Easter eggs because, well, it's the first episode. Next, we'll move on to God Wants Me to Forgive Them. And the first Easter egg is on the grapes of wrath on their truck. You can see a chromed little ornament of one of the monsters in Junior's bedroom from the first episode. The second Easter egg I find is when they ask Cordy how many times they're supposed to forgive.
Let's ask Cordy. Hey,
He's
Cordy,
playing Pong.
Can you help us? We need.
Next up we have Are You My Neighbor? And the first Easter egg is that in the Flibberoo Lou town, you can see the cactus from the Wire Buffalo Silly Song, and a tiny version of it too. And then there's the wind-up lobster that was in Junior's toy chest in the first episode. And then we got a couple Easter eggs in the doctor's office in Flibberoo. We have the little picture that Junior had in his room in the first episode, and also in the first episode the edict that the king signed in Daniel Lion's Den. And then I see that might be a picture of asparaguses. I'm not sure. Little Easter egg in Junior's bedroom. There's a picture hanging on his wall, and it looks like it's the same island from Larry's Lagoon. Little thing here is that when when Junior's talking to Bob and Larry, they say almost the exact same things they say in the first episode.
Ah! Who are you?
I'm Bob. I'm a tomato, and I need your help.
Whoa, hey, devil.
In this episode, Junior mentions the slime monster like he did in the first episode.
Don't put in it! Or maybe if the slime monster shows up and tries to squirt slime all over us, Fernando could maybe blast him with his x-ray eyes.
Since there weren't really any Easter eggs on Rat Shack and Benny, we'll move on to Dave and the Giant Pickle. And the first Easter egg on the DVD is on the main menu. If you keep clicking your left arrow, you'll come to a star. And then if you push enter,
yeah, I think the sheep were kind of Wallace and Gromit inspired, and but yeah, I can't recall if they were our very first limbed characters. They might have been, yeah, because in Christmas Week, which was the show after this, we had penguins. It's pretty funny because some of their animation cycles are just kind of ridiculous. You go back and watch them, and they're just, their little legs are, just moving all wrong. They're just going twang, twang, twang. You want to put like a little, harp in back of it, a little twanging harp in back of it. And then there's shots where they're buried into the sand up to their chest because, they were, when they were set up in the animation file, they were standing on level ground, but then we started to add, the hills in, and, we, at some point, we saw that the sheep were actually, their legs were buried, but we just thought it was kind of funny, plus, we were trying to, do the rendering fast, so we decided, we'll just leave it. there was a stiff wind that came up and they got buried in the sand.
in the second Easter egg on the DVD is if you go to features, and you keep clicking your left arrow, you'll come to the star and you push enter again.
There are some jokes in almost everything we've done that are biblically literate. And in this case, it's when David has come to Saul, King Saul, and says, I want to go fight Goliath. And King Saul says, well, couldn't you just play your harp and I'll throw things at you? And that's an allusion, to what's going to happen later. Several times King Saul tries to pin David to the wall with his spear while he's playing harp. So there are little things like that that we sprinkle in for the seminary students out there in the audience.
And then the third Easter egg is that if you go to fun, and you keep clicking your left arrow, you'll come to the star and you push enter, and here's another.
The sheep. I believe as I was looking at, because sheep just stand around, they do nothing. Sheep do absolutely nothing. And that didn't seem right. We needed to do something. And I think what popped into my head was cow tipping, which, and I'm not exactly sure what that is even. I grew up in Iowa, and I've heard of cow tipping. You can write me a letter and tell me exactly what it is. Is tipping over cows? I'm not sure. But I thought of that, and I thought, okay, the sheep could just tip over, just randomly. Just fall on their side. That's fun. And that gives them a personality, and they become a source of comedy throughout. Got an awkward moment, got a serious moment, have a sheep fall over. Hours of fun for the whole family.
And the fourth and final Easter egg on the DVD is if you go to Pizza Delivery Maze and you finish it, then there's a little thing you can click on.
Archibald does the Rorschach tests with Larry, and of course brings up all those images in rapid succession that all look like, all sorts of things, but some of them do literally look like lips, but he thinks everything looks like lips. Mike originally had done it. I hadn't seen what he'd done, but in the middle of it, he put a picture of Newt Gingrich.
And I just thought it'd be really funny, to bring up, a completely, just bizarre picture, and so the funniest thing that I could think of at the time was Newt Gingrich, because he was kind of all over the press and, kind of, in some ways sort of a, comical figure, at least in my mind, and, there's nothing political about that, but it's just, the name Newt.
And again, I'm thinking, okay, Mike, the people that are very conservative are going to think we're making fun of Newt Gingrich. People that are very liberal are going to think that we're endorsing Newt Gingrich. We're bound to, ruffle feathers. Let's not go political. And so then he came back with a picture of Sonny Bono.
I had got a signed autograph of Sonny Bono from one of my friends for a birthday present, kind of a gag birthday present. So, I had this photo, and so we put that in.
Everybody likes Sonny Bono. He's not a controversial figure at all. About 8 months after the video came out, Sonny Bono died.
And so out of respect for, his family, we, wanted to change it.
And so we painted a picture of our first animator, Robert Ellis, and put him in there.
And then later, we ended up, replacing that with a caricature of me.
It's changing so frequently, I have no idea what will show up next.
There's a reference to the very first silly song.
Do you remember the time we dipped you in tar and stuck you to the backside of an angry water buffalo?
And then right here is a little reference to Are You My Neighbor?
Sometimes I think I could eat a whole camel.
Oh yeah? Well, sometimes I think I could eat a whole spaceship.
What's a spaceship?
In the silly song, I Love My Lips, there are 2 Easter eggs. 2 pictures. One is the edict from Daniel Lyons and the other is from Flipper Loot. Right here is a little reference to Daniel in the lion's den because he said he ate pizza with the lions. And there's a line on the pizza box.
Pizza.
After Dave beats Goliath, you can see a graduation hat fly up. Look. Well, that'll do it for Dave and the Giant Pickle. Next, we'll take a look at the toy that saved Christmas.